Sports. Double coverage.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sports. I'm Dom with the great man, Saucy, back at it, episode 119. How are you, big fella?
Good, mate. I'm good. Good. It's been...
Excited?
Yeah, I am excited because the NBA season's around the corner. And, I mean, the NBA has done an absolutely beauty by everyone in reducing the cost of the NBA League Pass significantly for people around the globe. Formerly was like somewhere in the region around 360 to 80 Australian dollars previously annually. Now it's down to 155. You can also get like $200 for 205 for two people or two devices. Yeah. Essentially, can be simultaneously streaming. So, you know, if you and your mate want, you know, got someone, partner up, share the account. Happy days. You got it for just over $100, which is amazing. So we'll be definitely watching plenty of NBA. Watch a few preseason games, but, you know, preseason means absolutely jack all. Doma, just good to see them out there running around. We have already seen, I think Suggs may have had a bit of an injury scare.
Oh, really?
So
I saw Bagley got injured today.
I've seen something. So, you know, it's already started. It's what happens, you know, as the season rolls around, the injuries start to come in. But on a more positive note, Doma, you know, F1, Max Verstappen sewed up the title over the weekend, locked it in, back-to-back world champ.
He's done it, mate. Very fair few drivers, have been able to do that. So massive achievement by him on that front. We'll get to a bit of a review of that race, which was an absolute stinker, very, very soon. But we will start with the NBA source that you touched on, and straight into it. I've got this on for a reason, source. The Jazz tees on for a reason, because the Victor Cup, Victor Wembanyama, everyone's talking about him, and the team that's going to get him is Utah, because they absolutely suck. They got no one. Do I want him to go to Utah? No, I do not. But it's looking very likely that they are going to put their hat in the ring as the number one contender for the Victor Cup. He looks unreal, this kid, Source. I want you to give your basketball analysis of this guy. He's a bit of a hybrid. He's a bit of a makeup of a couple current players that are in the league, and hopefully he can come in and stay healthy, and we can get the full potential of VW.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to pronounce his surname correctly, so I'll have to.
Wembanyama.
There we go. Dom's got it on. Mr. Victor. Playing in the G League.
VW, mate. V-Dub.
I'm telling you what, he will be having a lot of W's in his career if he can stay healthy. He looks like an amazing talent. You know, all these things do come down to how he manages his body. Like he will have to put on a bit more size for the NBA. But he does look a pretty healthy size. Like, I mean, I feel like he's, 7'4", and I feel like he's, more filled out than like Chet Holmgren, more filled out than like a Bol, who, you know, these similar types that, you know, people, I feel like Victor Wembanyama is literally what people wanted Bol to be. Now, Bol can still develop into that. But for him to be doing this stuff in the G League already, it's like, you know, Bol could get to that point and still potentially, you know, have those sort of highlights. But I feel like, you know, already doing this stuff when you're 19 against men in the G League, it bodes well for your future in sort of when you're coming in. And it's not like he's, you know, just, it's amazing because he's doing those sort of dribble moves behind the back, crossovers, and, you know, that's all great. Shooting the threes, that's all great. But, you know, he's pretty good on defense as well, and he protects the rim and blocks shots really well. And, you know, I think he'll have a bit of issue, you know, with foul troubles when he first enters the league. I think, you know, because he'll probably be a bit undersized. But as he builds up that strength, which, you know, over 2, 3, 4 years in the system, he's going to be an absolute monster. an absolute monster.
100%.
Albeit he does stay healthy. I think he's literally, he's, and I don't like saying the next coming of this person, but I feel like it's because they're their own sort of guy, and I feel like that he will be his own sort of guy. Like people will be looking for the next Victor Wembanyama by the time his career's finished. They'll be going, oh, this guy's the next Victor Wembanyama. Albeit he can stay healthy. He's an amazing talent. He looks phenomenal. There's no guarantee he's going to go to the Jazz. They're just going to stink it up that bad so they get the most tickets in the lottery system and then hope that they obviously get picked out number one. There's still no guarantee that they get the number one pick. Just don't forget that, ladies and gentlemen. So, it will be interesting to see how this plays out. But, yes. People say that there's not going to be basketballers or players come, better than this guy. Sorry. It's the evolution of human beings. There's going to be people that come that are just as good, if not better. And he could be one of them. He really could. I've watched the highlights, man. I've just watched his highlights. It's just amazing. I cannot believe a guy at 7'4", how clean his dribbling is. And like he's got pretty good basketball knowledge, but the way he beats guys off the dribble. If he gets strong inside and is able to do that sort of action, it's going to be dangerous. Let's hope he can build a back to the basket game. I'm not too sure how well adverse he is with that, but it's definitely something you should have in your arsenal as a 7'4" guy. And with the NBA when they get so many switches, but I guess if he's that good of a jump shooter and maybe mid range sniper, why do you need to if they switch out and he can just turn around and shoot over the top of you at 7'4"?
It's true. Very true. I reckon he's got a lot of talent source. Like I said, sizing is probably his only issue at the moment. Well, his dribbling's unbelievable. His scoring's unbelievable. So he's doing it against men, which is always a positive sign. A bit like Luka the Don did in EuroLeague. So, yeah. I'm just the Victor sweepstakes. Richard Jefferson reckons that if LeBron was coming out at the same time as this guy, he'd go number 2. That's what he reckons. I reckon he's got no idea. But anyway, besides the point, I reckon this guy's going to be very, very, very good.
Interesting take.
If he can stay healthy, Source, because he's skinny. Yeah. All right, that's the only proviso I'm putting on it. He's got to stay healthy because he's got the ability. So
he's got the raw talent is there. He's really there.
It's also where you land. I personally, I hope the Spurs tank and he goes there. Personally, I don't want him in Utah, but more than likely that's where he's going to go. Yeah, it's an interesting one. It is a watch this space.
Makes an interesting watch for obviously his cards and that with Utah being a bit of a soft market in regards to cards. We have seen that before, so yeah, all right. Definitely. It's if he does go there, Dom. If he does go there,
that's exactly right. The next one, Source, in the NBA space. I'm not worried about preseason scores. I'm worried about the Mike Tyson straight left that Draymond Green gave Jordan Poole, and I want your take on this. He just came in straight up. You can't be a guy that talks that much shit in this league, Source, to then talk shit to a guy that arcs up to you, for you to go up to him into his face and him to push you, and then you just retaliate and punch him square in the face. People said, I shouldn't have pushed him. You don't get up in someone's personal space like that. Looking aggressively.
Yeah, he did.
Looking for a fight. He went straight into him, like barking at him. What? Aggressive. Like, that's not polite. He's not going to push him for no reason. He obviously felt threatened, so he pushed him to back him off, and then he just lunged and hit him.
It could have at least extended the courtesy of saying, "Come on, let's go. let's punch on. But he didn't even put the hands up. He just got pushed and said something back, and then lunged with the hook. Came with a Superman punch, and then they had to be broken up. People saying, the issue is like, how did the footage get leaked? I mean, it's what happens, man. Everyone, is in it for a bit of a payday. And, I'm not surprised the footage got leaked. Did it maybe get leaked out by the Warriors themselves because they don't want to give Draymond that big deal, and maybe this is their way to say, well, you effed up. So if you want to stay at this team, you got to take a pay cut, and they got to give more money to obviously other guys and younger guys that are coming up that are going to be the future of the franchise. You've had your time. I don't know if that's the way that they're playing at the organization, but it doesn't look good. It didn't look good for Draymond. Obviously had to come out and apologize, and in the media and apologize to Jordan Poole. And I feel like, and I did read a rumor that he's hasn't accepted the apology. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But yeah, I guess if you trash talking someone, I don't know. We don't know what's said as well, right? But at the same time, it's sort of it didn't look good. The footage didn't look good on Draymond. I'm just gonna
No
put that out there.
no suspension source, an undisclosed a fine with an undisclosed amount is what he copped. So, he's trying to keep it in-house. So I did see one good thing, that came out of this. One good thing. Because, when there's always someone that's disgruntled, there's always a story, and the Lakers are in it. And it was the Lakers looking to trade for Draymond Green from Basketball Forever. And I started pissing myself. I said, that's exactly what Source needs. Another finished, washed-up guy that can't shoot the basketball on his team.
No, that's mate. Those Basketball Forevers, they're just they got no idea what they're talking about. That fucking
it's
page.
It's funny as. So anyway, we'll see what happens there if he does stay or he does go. I don't know, Source. He is a guy that everyone has said, Draymond Green, that if he goes to another franchise, he won't be the player that he is at Golden State. He's just not good enough to do it by himself. He can't be the man.
He needs assist. Well, clearly, he can't be the man. That's he can be a solid role player, and that's what he is now. He's a solid role player that defends hard, and he's a leader on defense, and is key at communicating. Obviously, uses his voice a lot on the court, which is definitely needed. If you've ever played a high level of basketball, there's a lot of chat, a lot of talk out on there. And
he'd be great at the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, I don't know.
With shooters,
I don't know.
Good shooters.
Yeah, with shooters. But
don't forget they picked up
Young play off the ball.
But they picked up DeJounte Murray too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I don't know.
The team's good.
I don't think they're going to trade him.
Nah. But I'm just saying, rumors that he's going to go. No. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see what happens. He'd probably just... Oh, now, hey, it's the closest thing we ever got to see to Michael Jordan punching his own teammate in the face, Source. So,
yeah, fair point.
Just pretend that was Jordan punching Steve Kerr, and that's it. You get footage. There was no footage back then, so finally get to see it in modern-day basketball. All right, let's move on to the EPL. Let's review the scores of the round, if I had them up, which I don't. And there is, of course, one happy person that is...
Arsenal, top of the table.
At the moment.
Top of the table.
He's all over it at the moment. Let me just... Where are we? All right. We had Nottingham Forest, Villa 1-1. We had Man United defeating Everton 2-1.
Did you watch the game, Doma?
Is the Pope Catholic, Source? Of course I watched the game. Of course. You know why?
Speak to me.
Because I saw him kick his 700th goal. There it is, baby. 700 goals for the greatest player of all time. It was good to see him come on in the 29th minute. I didn't like seeing Martial go off injured again, hurt. Obviously, I don't like that. I wanted to try and get some continuity.
he was playing some
But
good football as well. So
yeah, and then he's
unfortunate.
hurt again. But Ronaldo came on 28th minute. What do you know? He's got more game time to make an impact on the pitch, and he did. Scored the goal that we needed, to be honest, after a banger from Iwobi. It was a Mickey goal, and of course, I think Anthony scored again. I'm pretty sure it was Anthony. Pretty sure it was Anthony scored again. So yeah, good win by us away at Everton. Then we had Arsenal defeating Liverpool 3-2. Sources up and about on that one.
Come on.
Solid
Good game.
win.
Cracking
Solid win by your boys. Can't fault them. They're playing great football. Martinelli scored in the first minute.
Yeah,
in this
first
one,
minute of the
Source.
game, great way to start, and Liverpool fought back well to their credit. You know, I
Been
think
great
they're
with the
fine.
5-packs.
Yeah, they're finding their feet a little bit. I think they're obviously still worried. At the back, they're giving up a lot of goals. And if they're conceding the way that they are conceding, I think they're going to find it difficult this season. Their defense isn't as good as it was, I feel. But we're playing good football. It's I don't know. I felt confident. It was different. It felt different. Like at times when we would go into those games, it was sort of like you were sort of, would fight against Liverpool, but we just knew that, they just outclassed us in the end. And I felt like we had that edge on Liverpool in that game. And I felt like that we had the better class on the pitch. We're definitely playing a higher brand of football at the moment. And I mean, Bayako Saka, like just, ladies and gentlemen, people were stressing out about him. Obviously, his big miss in the Euros penalty. He steps up, nails the pen. He's getting on the score sheet. Two weeks in a row. He's looking lethal. There was times at the start of the season where he was looking to, take it too much on the inside, onto his left foot, but he's balanced that out very nicely, and he takes it on the outside as well, and then can put that cross in on the outside on his right foot. Got a bit of trickery, and he's just raw power, and his ability to not get, ride tackles really well. When he gets sort of bumped on the ball, he rides that tackle and then is able to skip away with the ball and break the lines with his running and striding and lengthening out with that beautiful left foot that he's got. So, I can't speak highly enough of the turnaround, and just also the ability to have actual guys that come off the bench and have quality, and we had Tomiyasu played there. He played Tomiyasu on the left side. He's usually right back, played him on the left back position up against Salah, and just let me just tell you, he had him in his pocket. Salah didn't do much. He had a couple of moments, but other than that, Tomiyasu blanketed him very well. So I think that was a big part. Went towards us winning the game, and it was a great match. And Liverpool played very well, but Arsenal had better class on the day.
That's it, mate. Anthony, welcome. We are well. Hope you are also. Then we have Palace defeating Leeds 2-1, West Ham beating Fulham 3-1, Tottenham defeating Brighton 1-0, Bournemouth defeating Leicester 2-1, Chelsea 3-0 winners over Wolves, City 4-0 winners over Southampton. Of course, Haaland scored in this one, and Newcastle defeated Brentford in a whitewashing 5-1. They slapped them. Upcoming games this week, Source: Brentford Brighton, Leicester Palace, Fulham Bournemouth, Wolves Nottingham, Tottenham Everton, Aston Villa Chelsea, Leeds Arsenal, Man United against the red hot Newcastle United. So it's going to be great. Southampton West Ham. And the game to get up and watch, Source, is Liverpool versus Manchester City. That's the game this week.
When's that? What time's that?
2:30 a.m. Shithouse time.
Monday morning.
Monday morning. That's gross.
Oh, jeez.
We're playing.
I'll tell you one thing. There's going to be goals in that game. Goals.
Yeah, and they're all going to be scored by one man. So,
is it at City's home?
Yeah, it was. Well, two men, to be honest, because Phil Foden's absolutely dominating at the moment. Let's get to the Champions League games this morning. Source: Copenhagen against Man City, 0-0.
I watched the first half. I was explaining to you before, though. I watched the first half, and I thought Haaland was
Then he
going to
played
start.
their
It
team.
didn't. It didn't start. It didn't start. They didn't really need to win. If they won the game,
Nah.
it sewed up the group. But they're now on 10 points. They've pretty much sewed up the top spot in their group.
Yeah.
But got a red card in the 20th minute or something around that. They did also miss a penalty to also go up 1-0. Riyad Mahrez missed a penalty. So they probably still could have won the game even at with 10 men. But they ended up getting the draw, and they did what they needed to do. It was a pretty silly penalty. Let's be honest. Like the guy was going to be in on goal, but come on, you're Manchester City. Like they get a goal, Copenhagen. You always back yourself to come back and get it back to 1-1. Would have been early on. 20 minutes into the game, still plenty of time to come back. So yeah, pretty stupid to drag the guy down the way he did. Deserved the red, in my opinion. Definitely deserved the red. So it was called back on VAR and ended up getting a red card. So they stopped the game and they said, go have a look at it. And he did end up getting red. But 0-0 in the end.
Very nice. DeVille, welcome. Lukey, thanks for joining in. The big upset was Maccabi Haifa defeating Juventus 2-0. Massive win for that football club.
I think, Doma, that puts him in a bad spot, a very bad spot for their group, I believe.
Well, they're struggling. They're 8th in Serie A. They've been losing. They're not doing too well.
Hang on, let me tell you. That puts them in 3 points in the group. You've got PSG and Benfica on 8 points.
They're cooked here.
And then there's 2 games to go. So there's still 2 games to go. So they have to win their remaining 2 games. But
I think they're going to have to play PSG.
And if they have to play PSG, they're in big trouble. It's going to be a disappointing season. Could be another disappointing season for Juventus. Obviously,
100%. Next, we had Chelsea defeat.
They're going to verse Benfica and PSG.
Yeah, no,
so they're going to be in big trouble.
Big trouble. Chelsea defeated AC Milan 2-0. Leipzig defeated Celtic 2-0. Dinamo Zagreb and Salzburg 1-1 draw. Dortmund Sevilla 1-1 draw. Shakhtar Real Madrid 1-1 draw. And PSG Benfica 1-1 draw. Saucy. Tomorrow morning's games, we have Atletico Madrid versus Club Brugge, Napoli versus Ajax, Leverkusen Porto, Pisen Bayern, Rangers Liverpool, Sporting Marseille, Tottenham Frankfurt, and the game to watch because their Champions League is on the line. Barcelona versus Internazionale di Milano. That is the game to tune in and watch. It is at the Camp Nou, the new camp, however you want to say it. Must-win game, Source. Must-win game. They need to beat Inter. They're both on equal goal difference. Just Inter Milan is 1 game ahead of them. So if they beat them, the goal difference will put them in 2nd position in their group. So massive game. That is a 6 a.m. game, Source. So I'll get up.
Group D is also juicy as well. Group D is also juicy with Tottenham in it. You got Tottenham, Sporting, Frankfurt, and Marseille. They're all, everyone is still in it in that group. Sporting's on top with 6 points, but then you got Tottenham and Frankfurt on 4 and Marseille on 3. So if Marseille are up against Sporting, if they can beat Sporting, that group blows it wide open. So there's a lot to play out in a few groups across the Champions League. Make sure you tune in. Big game tomorrow. Definitely Barcelona versus Inter Milan is the game to watch. But
it's a big game. Big games. That's what we like. Big games. Europa League. Yes.
Oh, Europa League. Yeah, big games in Europa League.
Yeah, big games. I was just gonna go through the results. We had Arsenal defeating Bottle Glimt 3-0. Roma losing to Betis 2-1. Let's just get to the main ones. Fucking United defeated Ammonia 3-2. And that's pretty much it. That's the only reason we're here for Arsenal and United. We don't need to go through the rest of it. Europa League this week. We have Bottle Glimt versus Arsenal once again. Man United versus Ammonia once again. So stay tuned for that. All right, Sauce. We're not done yet with with the soccer because where now good man Fabrizio puts out a story. It has to be read because the GM 2.0 is not happy with his current situation at PSG and he wants to leave as soon as possible if things don't change. As reported by the French and Spanish media today, Paris Saint-Germain have no intention to let Mbappe leave in January, and they feel he's just putting pressure on the club. Kylian's not happy with the current situation after signing a new contract with Paris just 5 months ago. There are many points to discuss internally as PSG are very clear on their position, no intention to sell Mbappe in January. How do you see the Mbappe situation? Saucy, over to you.
I mean, what the hell does he have to be upset about? You own the club. You do whatever the fuck you want. You literally tell everyone to piss off and you take all the penalties. You do it, but you don't pass it to guys who are in better positions than you because you take shots on goal when you're all right, you're a couple goals up, but you want to, bag more statistics. And no one can say anything to you. You are the GM. What more do you want, man? What more do you want? I don't understand.
I know I said I wanted him to go to Madrid, but I'm so happy he didn't go to Madrid.
He wouldn't be able to do this at Madrid.
Nah, they would have got rid of him straight away. They would have just literally got rid of him. It's no words when stuff like this comes out. Anthony reckons he won't go anywhere. He'll focus on the World Cup first. Well, he better focus on the World Cup because France absolutely stink at the moment. So they better.
France are not winning the World Cup, mate. I think there's two. It's not going to come together. It's just not. Can't see it happening.
This guy, how funny is this? From my perspective, the guy thinks to have invented football when in fact he's only the greatest sprinter in a turtle race. At the moment, the funny thing is because we've got Ronaldo and Messi Sauce, all right, and they're established and they've achieved everything that they've achieved in their career to this point so far. There's still possibility for these guys to achieve even more in their careers statistically. But the two guys, the young and up and comers, Mbappe being the Ronaldo, in my opinion, older, more experienced, and Haaland being like the Messi, younger than Mbappe, and all the focus was on these two up and coming players, especially in the hobby, like crazy. So these are the two guys that got a lot more eyes on world football. And at the moment, because we pin them up against each other, Sauce. We do. We pin them up against each other, and Mbappe was the clear cut. He's better of the two. And I get that. If we look at accolades, then I have to turn around and say, Mbappe is the better of the two. He's got a World Cup. So you can't fault him on that. But if I had to talk right here, right now, who the better player is out of the two of them on this planet, it is Erling Haaland by an absolute mile. An absolute mile. It's not even close how much better he is than this guy. It's not even close. I know that sounds ridiculous. He's playing in the hardest league in the world, Sauce, and he's kicking goals for fun. This guy plays in a farmers league, and I expect him to dominate every week. And he plays with Lionel Messi and Neymar and Hakimi. I don't think, and all I've got out of him is complaining. He's had some stinkers, Sauce, Mbappe, so far this year. He's had some stinkers. He's had some great games too, but he's had some absolute stinkers. So that's just my opinion at this point in time. Anthony, if you're listening, weigh in. Saucy, you can weigh in. You can tell me I'm a freaking nutcase.
What did they drew to Reims on the weekend, I think, 0-0.
Yeah.
Scoreless 0-0.
They drew this morning.
I don't know how that can be happening. I don't know how that can be happening.
I know it doesn't matter this morning's game because they pretty much wrapped it up in the Champions League. But that personally, I just think Haaland is. I don't know because all the attention's on him. I don't know. But that's my personal opinion. You can think I'm an absolute nutter, but better player at the moment out of the two.
Yeah. Oh, look. I mean, he's still an amazing talent. So look, let's hope. He can get the right people around him, giving him advice, and he can take his game to another level because he's got that in his tool bag. And I mean, we want to see it for the World Cup because we want to see the best version of Mr. Mbappe at the World Cup.
Is it crazy to say, sort of like putting this out there for Haaland now? This is more Haaland talk than anything, but it's hard for him to accomplish a lot of those international feats because his country obviously isn't good enough to be involved in these tournaments. But let's say he breaks the record for goals in the Premier League this season and he wins the Champions League. Does Haaland get a Ballon d'Or?
Yeah, maybe, potentially.
Because honestly, that's the only way. Well, he can win the FA Cup and stuff like that as well. That's a possibility for him. But I don't know. That's I'll just put it out there. That's the only way, like the criteria for him to win it. Technically, he can't win international titles. So for his country. I just think that's the way we've got to think about it. If he's dominating, well, in saying that, Lewandowski got robbed of one because of COVID. That's what cost him a Ballon d'Or. What a disgrace! Just give him the award.
It's pretty bad.
So, anyway, Matty Cams, what's up? Welcome in. Let's move on, Source. Let's get into the F1s. I'm not even going to go through the race. Max Verstappen won it. That's all you need to know. He's the 2022 world champion. We still got 4 races left that mean absolutely nothing. It's just stat padding for Max Verstappen. If he wins, it just goes to more win totals for him, and he can just stat pad. So congratulations to him. Great drive in tough conditions in what was a stinker of a race. They were only out there for 40 minutes. It was shocking. It just rained and rained and rained. There was a lot of controversy in this one. Obviously, Carlos Sainz's crash, a hydraulic issue on Alex Albon, and then they put a tractor out on the track without red flagging the session before Pierre Gasly went past it. And shades of 2014 when Jules Bianchi went into the track, he died on track because of something very, very similar. So not great.
It was a shambles. It was a shambles.
It was a shambles. It was a shambles. The drivers were disgusted at the fact that they went out there anyway and did 3 laps. It's pretty bad. We were watching it live. It was a great time for us. The best time we've had all F1 season, next to obviously the Australian Grand Prix. So outside of that one, the best time for us, 4 p.m. on a Sunday, sit in front of the computer for an hour and 40 minutes to do a live stream. It was thank you to everyone that tuned in because you've made it worthwhile. But an hour and 40 minutes of no racing. It was just watching the rain come down.
We were watching Bathurst in the end.
Bathurst, NPL, we had everything on. So it was unfortunate. It is what it is, but Max Verstappen gets the win. No race this week, race the following week. So I'll cover that on the pod with Saucy next week. Anything to add to it, big fella? Japanese Grand Prix? No.
Congrats, Max Verstappen. And too good, mate. Too good. Back to the drawing board, Ferrari.
All right. Yeah, Ferrari. Freaking, they stink. Let's get to the NFL source because we had some interesting results last week, that's for sure. We'll start with Kansas City versus the Las Vegas Raiders. They won that one 30-29 in what was as big a choke job as Brett the Hitman Hart. Screw job, sorry. As Brett the Hitman Hart cop from HBK Shawn Michaels. It was just, they screwed that up royally.
They did.
Doesn't get worse than that.
It was pretty funny.
Devontae Adams, mate, with the pushing and
Oh man! And then at
cleaned
the
up
end,
someone, and
they ran into each other. It was just comical down. Like once they, they got up 17-0 and they were feeling good about themselves, and the body language on Derek Carr was, bright and he was up and about. And then it all fell to pieces. That Kansas City machine started to get going in that second half. That combo between Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes is just lethal down in the red zone. 4 TDs for Travis Kelce. And, Derek Carr and his team couldn't piece it together there at the end. I feel like they also made a bit of a mistake by, they should have just kicked the field goal in one occasion, and they went for it, and that cost them. So, some bad coaching maneuvers as well as some bad play towards the end, and in that second half that allowed Kansas City back into the game, and ended up winning it. So yeah, look good for Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs that fighting back for a win like that. I mean, it looks good, for them going forward. And everyone who said, "Oh, they're going to struggle without Tyreek Hill." Man, look, they got Juju. He's coming out. He's making big plays. It's funny. Juju Smith looks really good when he's got a good quarterback who knows how to deliver the ball, and is a bit better than although Big Ben Roethlisberger was a gun. I mean, he was right at the end of his career, and when you got a guy who's a bit more mobile and can make a bit different plays and harder throws, it makes those wide receivers look better, and helps them out as well. So there was a good connection there, Juju and then Hardman as well, really good connection. So good win for the Chiefs.
Definitely. Then we had Baltimore defeating Cincy 19-17. Philadelphia Eagles defeating the Cardinals 20-17. Cardinals missed a field goal to take it to OT. It wasn't great. Dallas defeated the Rams 22-10. Cooper Rush, keep him in. Keep him in.
Keep him in. The ball's rolling.
Keep him in.
The ball's rolling. You got to keep him in there.
You don't change
that's a good win on the road. On the road as well.
Yeah, massive win.
Bang.
That's so fire. Huge.
His cards must be going bananas. I would be interested to have a look. Let me get a card ladder.
Crazy.
I'll have a look. It's some Cooper Rush.
Rolling.
Keep rolling.
San Francisco defeated the Panthers 37-15. Buffalo defeated Pittsburgh 38-3. Chargers defeated the Browns 30-28. Texans defeated the Jags 13-6. Vikings defeated the Bears 29-22. The New England Patriots shut out the Detroit Lions 29-0. New Orleans 39-32. The Seahawks. Unfortunate for Matty Cams. The Dolphins lost 40-17 against the Jets in what was an absolutely disgraceful display by Miami. The Bucks defeated the Falcons 21-15. Commanders lost to the Titans 21-17. Giants defeated the Packers at Lambeau Source 27-22. And the Colts defeated the Broncos 12-9 in what was one of the worst football games.
Wasn't at Lambeau. It was in London. Sorry, I have to correct you on that.
Oh, was it? Oh, was it in London? Sorry.
It was in London. I watched that game and they shouldn't have. They choked. Packers. They choked.
Yeah, that's okay. But then the worst football game for a very long time, Source, the Colts versus the Broncos. But you got the win and you got to take it. You defeat them 12-9. So how's that Cooper Rush? How's Cooper Rush looking?
I was trying to find out. I mean, he doesn't got. I've tried to type in his contenders auto. I can't find anything. I think he was just in. See, I'll even type Prism. Oh, here we go. We've got his field level PSA 9 2017 select. It's number to 5. Went for $500. People selling a base rookie silver for $20. That's pretty good if you ask me. So out of select. I'm just trying to find a few cards. There's a Cooper Rush number to 19 field prism. Went for $120. All right. Yeah, I mean, his cards are moving. Silver prism, Select Silver Prism. It's just a base prism out of 2017 Select. $36. I was trying to find these Contenders Optic Auto, but I don't think maybe never had an auto in the product. Who knows?
There you go.
But yeah, his cards are moving. They are moving off the shelf. So, if you not a big Cooper Rush fan and you got them sitting in the pile, maybe busting some packs back from back then, who knows? Get them up on eBay. Never know. Someone will buy them.
Another interesting thing, Source. I don't know if you saw, just the Bills are inquiring about Christian McCaffrey. I don't know if you saw that. So
I mean, that would be an amazing pickup for them and be an amazing weapon for Josh Allen.
it'd be massive. Absolutely massive.
Pickup.
All right, let's get to this week's games. We've got Commanders against Bears, Falcons, 49ers, Browns, Patriots, Packers, Jets, Colts, Jags, Dolphins, Vikings. We're in trouble this week because we've got Kirk Cousins not on a Monday night game. Bengals, Saints, Giants, Ravens, Steelers, Bucks, Rams, Panthers, Seahawks, Cardinals, Chiefs, Bills, Sauce, Chiefs, Bills. Massive game. Eagles, Cowboys, another big game. And then the Chargers versus the Broncos to wrap that one up. That's round 6. Saucy. All right, let's move on to the AFL. And we've had some big things happen this week. Well, since last Wednesday. So we'll start here. Freo get Luke Jackson, pick 44 and pick 67. And they've given pick 13 and a future first and future second to the Ds. James Harms commented he's quite sad on that one. That's unfortunate. Isaac Rankine, finally done and dusted. He's gone over to the Crows. There you go. Gold Coast get pick 5. I'll skip that one there. Gunston over to the Lions. The Hawks pick up some picks. Grundy over to the Ds for pick 27. To the Pies. Your thoughts on this one, Sauce? The midfield stacks up next year as Grundy, Gawn, Petrarca, Oliver, Viney, Brayshaw. I don't think it gets much better than that.
I reckon they're going to use Grundy as a bit of like a big-bodied midfielder. He could go in there as you play Gawn in the ruck. You play Grundy on the ball
with Oliver and Petrarca.
Yes, imagine that.
Fuck, that's an interesting way of looking at it. Play a ruckman in the center clearance with a ruckman.
Yeah. Put Gawn in the ruck and put Grundy as an on-baller. And then you got that situation what the Geelong Cats did well, which was one of them rotated out and then floated back and then was able to be that intercept marker back and then pick off those marks. And then you're able to rotate those two guys to play that sort of position. And it gives you another avenue or another defensive setup that you can use throughout a game. So I reckon it makes for an interesting mix up. And I mean, they did lose Luke Jackson, so they did need another tall to come in. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. I mean, look, I feel that Brodie Grundy I hope he does well, and we'll see how it turns out for him at the Ds. But I feel like it had a bit of a, the old contract year. You go out there, have it, put in your best preseason you've ever put in. It's a contract year. Dominate.
Julius Randle in the NBA.
Julius Randle. We've seen it numerous times with other players as well. I think that could fall in that category. Now, look, I can't say it will because obviously had a lot of injuries last year, and there's that aspect to it. But he's got to come out at the Ds and not just. He can't be battling for a spot. Like he's got to be in the team every week. And
100%. Completely agree with you. Yeah, he definitely has to. Next one up, we had Jack Bowles and pick 7 to the Cats. So the Cats have somehow got pick 7 from the Suns for a 3rd round pick. Apparently, it's a burden for them to have Jack Bowles. So I don't know what that means. It could be a loose unit. Who knows? Saucy. Tigers bolster their midfield again with Jacob Hopper to go with Tim Taranto. So great pickup there. Who else did we have confirmed? Aaron Francis over to the Swans for pick 37 and a future 4th round. So you lose Aaron Francis, Saucy. Not too bad. It's not.
I don't think. Look, I'll be honest with you. I think it's yeah.
You picked up this guy anyway, Sam Wiedemann, who I reckon is actually a great player.
Yeah, I think that's a good pickup. I think that's a good pickup. I'm not gonna lie.
So you traded that pick from the Swans.
Well, we need another tool. We need another tool. We can't. We had Peter Wright up there by himself all season. Fought well. Won our Crichton Medal. Player of the season for our
James
club.
Stewart, mate. You have James Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart is a dud. All right, I'll tell you right now.
He dominated against North, mate, when we played you.
Oh, yeah. There you go. You just said it there. Against North Melbourne, the worst team in the comp, mate. So, look, that's exactly what I said. He would dominate this week. And then, you know what happened next week when we played a bit better side? He copped an absolute bath. All right?
Yeah, well,
he copped an
flat
absolute
track
bath.
bully.
Yes, he literally is. Right? He's a very good look. I think he has his role if he's on your list because you get injuries throughout the season and you need more guys to fill in at times, but he can't be in your number one side and be like your number 2 option up forward. He's just not that guy. He's just not that guy.
Fair enough. D's also picked up Josh Shackey for a future 4th round from the Dogs. So there you go. Pick up there.
Interesting one because he showed a lot of promise early on in his career, Shackey, as to be like a key forward. And then he's sort of fallen off the hill and even fallen out of favor at the Dogs. So maybe it can spark re-spark his career. I don't know.
Definitely Lockie Hunter over to the D's as well.
Obviously looking for some outside run replacement. Jaden Hunt's gone. Lockie Hunter plays that similar sort of role on the outside.
Dunkley finally got the deal done. He's going to the Lions. They get pick 21, future 1st, 2nd, and 4th. The Dogs. Lockie Neal looks pretty happy with that one.
Well, finally Dunkley's left the Dogs. This
was a good one for the Dogs to pick up. They stole Rory Lobb from Fremantle. Pick 30 and future 2nd round.
Yeah, interesting.
Pick up there. It is interesting with Norton up forward as well as Bruce. I don't know. Days could be numbered for Josh Bruce, if you ask me, with this guy on your team. He's better than Josh Bruce, Rory Lobb, by an absolute mile. And if I hit refresh source, because I saw my phone buzzing all over the place before, catch receive, Ollie Henry, Pies get pick 25, and Tom Mitchell. And Cooper Stevens goes over to the Hawks with pick 41 and 50. So Ollie Henry joins his brother at the Cattery. The Pies have got Tom Mitchell and pick 25. So to bolster their midfield. And the Hawks get Cooper Stevens and some picks. So your thoughts on this one, Sauce? This is hot off the press. Pies.
Interesting. I mean, clearly Tom Mitchell didn't want to be at the club. I feel like this is Tom Mitchell, a power move by Tom Mitchell. What's he like, 27, 28, getting towards the prime of his career. He's obviously won a Brownlow medal already. And obviously the Hawks aren't going to be relevant anytime soon. They're clearly in a rebuilding stage. He probably then looks at the success that Collingwood had this season. It's like, well, Collingwood's probably more of a contending team. Do I have an opportunity to win a premiership at Collingwood at this point in time? Looking more than likely that Collingwood's going to do well next season after obviously the good season they had this year. So maybe seeing that as a bit of a move to maybe try, get a premiership under the belt. Because at the end of the day, if you're an elite player, I mean, anyone in the AFL, that should be your goal to win a flag. So I reckon, I mean, it's a good move for Tom Mitchell. And, if the Hawks, he didn't want to be there, there's no point keeping those sort of players. We've seen it doesn't work out well. It never works out well they end up always moving on. So you better just move them on, get what you can for him. And I think it's a good pickup, Ollie Henry, for the Cats as well. Gives them more depth. He showed, there was a debate whether it should have been Ginnivan or Henry in the team, between Collingwood supporters. Obviously Ginnivan's gotten the nod now and he's not looking back. So Ollie Henry looking for new opportunities and maybe he's got some down there at the Cattery. Maybe they can turn him into a bit of a midfielder that, obviously Selwood retiring. And, maybe he steps in there and can play a bit of that role. So, yeah, I think good moves for all teams.
Yeah, and the last one, last deal done for the day was Jager O'Meara over to the Dockers, and in return, the Hawks get Lloyd, Meek, and a future second round. So O'Meara over to the Dockers. There you go. I don't know about I really don't know about the Dockers source. They gained O'Meara, who's struggling. They showed nothing much in the finals, and they lost to Rory Lobb. Oh, they got Josh Corbett as a forward, I guess. Who showed some stuff.
I don't know if they're going forward.
So who knows?
They may have overachieved a little bit this year, and we could see a bit of a down year from the Dockers next year.
Maybe. They also lost Griffin Logue and Darcy Tucker to North. So they've lost a lot of players. And Blake Acres as well went to Carlton. So a bit of an exodus there at the Dockers. All right, Sauce. UFC. Over to you, mate.
So UFC this weekend, fight night, Grasso versus Arajo. It's Alexa Grasso against Vivian Arajo in the women flyweight. That's the main event. It's the co-main event is Cub Swanson against Jonathan Martinez in the bantamweight. And that the main card kicks off from 10 a.m. this Sunday. And the prelim card kicks off from 7 a.m. this Sunday. So tune in. Fights will be free on ESPN. So if you've got yourself a Foxtel KO subscription, maybe the realms of the internet, feel free to DM us. We can shoot you something that you can watch it on. And tune in, watch the fights.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Done and dusted. All right, let's get to it.
Quick, because next week we'll have a proper preview because that's big card.
Big
so
one.
Definitely
that's
a proper preview next week.
Oh, I thought you said quick. You got something else. Sorry, apologies.
No. I said no.
Oh, sorry, great man.
On,
sorry.
Roll
on. I will. Le Mans of the week, Sauce. Do you want to set the scene? Because I kind of expected it. You were annoyed pre-show talking about this guy, and he plays for my football club. You were annoyed at the fact of the poor excuses that were being thrown in the face of the North Melbourne fans and the football club. So who were you annoyed with this week, and who's copping this lemon?
Look, I just think it's really, really poor form. First and foremost, right, I've got a friend who's more of a passionate North Melbourne supporter than you, Doma.
100 times. No, 100 times.
100 times. You've met him. You've been to the footy. We attended the footy match with him as well. He's so passionate. He bleeds North Melbourne. He goes to all North Melbourne functions. Game. He goes down to trainings. He's absolute North Melbourne nuffy. Right?
He's not me because I bagged Curtis Taylor to him and he wanted to fucking throttle me. So
that's a true story. And he went to the medal night and he went up to him and he said, Jason Horne-Francis, are you going to leave North Melbourne? And he looked at him and he said, nah, mate. Shook his hand and said, nah, mate, I'm staying at North Melbourne. To then come out a few weeks later to put in a trade request to leave North Melbourne. So you've literally you're lying straight to supporters' faces, the people who pay the membership, the people who come to watch you play, to put in some of those efforts that you put in this season on the field. Maybe after you may have not been taking a few things seriously throughout your week in preparation, if you know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen, going into an AFL and playing professional sports, what you should or may or may not be doing through the middle of the week. So, it's a few questionable things at yourself, Jason. You can't just, throw the whole onus on the club. I feel like he is using, the whole situation with Alistair Clarkson a bit of a get out clause, the instability at North Melbourne. Obviously, the reason why they got Alistair Clarkson was because he was very experienced and would have provided that stability. It's just unfortunate the way events have unfolded in that. And I feel like you've just used it as a bit of a get out clause and throwing the amount of shade, lying to supporters' faces, including my friend who is the most passionate AFL supporter I've ever met, let alone North Melbourne supporter, just loves AFL. And to do that and just take no onus on yourself that, let's be honest, mate, you didn't want to be at North Melbourne from the beginning, right? You had no intention of staying at North Melbourne. You just wanted to get into the system, whether you left this year or you've seen the year you had left on your contract and then requested a trade at the end of your contract. You were going to leave and go home to Adelaide. It was complete bullshit. There's literally no onus taken from yourself. So for that reason, Mr. Jason Horn-Francis, you, sir, are a lemon. He's talked a lot of shit about your club this week, Doma.
It's okay. I'm okay with
Cam Zurhaar's happy to see him go. He thinks it's
I was about to say. I'll tell you who I want on my side of the football if I was matching up, and it's not Jason Horn-Francis, the P Heart that played with absolutely no aggression this year, literally a P Heart. I know he checked out. He definitely had checked out because when I watched him play, I watched him play twice, and I was just like, "What's he doing?" Like he was struggling. Where you got the other guy, the GOAT, as I like to call him, LDU, putting in 125%. Every single game, even when we're getting belted. Anyway, besides the point, you can talk as much shit as he wants. Hopefully he never wins a flag. The greatest thing that could ever happen as a North Melbourne supporter is North Melbourne under Clarko. Hopefully all this stuff goes away and everything gets resolved, but North Melbourne wins a flag before Port Adelaide does. That would be the greatest thing, the biggest justice to this clown, and I'll be celebrating. I would actually be celebrating. But in the meantime, you got to celebrate the small wins, Source. And the small wins were, as you mentioned, Cam Zurhaar posted this in his Insta story for Bulls Cooking. He said, discount code Hornet Gone at checkout for 10% off. Get in quick. So he's throwing some shade. There you go. There's the checkout. Someone put in Hornet Gone. They got $2.50 off their tote bag, Source. The 10% code was active and was working. So love that by him. And obviously this trade complete here by the North Melbourne official Instagram page was commented on by Cam Zurhaar. And he said it was elite that the clown was gone. So I'm on. So Cam Zurhaar, for that, if we had an award that was opposite to the Le Mans, you'd get that award. I don't know what's opposite to a lemon that's sour. It'd be an orange that's sweet. So I don't know, you're the orange of the week. I don't know. I can't start making up stupid awards. So this one's as dumb as you can possibly imagine anyway. So also I've been blocked over it. So
I've been blocked a couple times.
The Mon cards over there with the Wolves. If you know who I'm talking about, you get the reference. All right, Sauce. Eden, welcome. Let's get to it. Platinum Standard Grading is sponsoring, obviously, Hobby Talk. Thank you to the crew at Platinum Standard Grading. All right, Sauce. Straight off the bat, Lucas signing cards. He's signing card, Sauce. On card, not
And
stickers.
there's video of him actually signing the card, so no one can say that it's his mum signing it. So I think
He's signing it as Lulu.
Lulu.
You happy? That's the question. Are you happy? You need to be happy because you have been the biggest advocate for Panini trying to move away from this sticker dump and rorting the consumers. So you of all people should just be over the moon here. I'm going to bring the video up. I'm just getting it.
Yeah, this is what they should be doing. They should be there with a representative, getting him to sign the cards. There he is.
He should be signing Luca the Don.
If I was him, I'd just be signing the Don.
Oh, I love that. Look at this. Oh, have a look at that. Oh, the Don. Surely, there's Kendrick Perkins in here going, look at the Don, signing for Panini.
Hey, look, that's good.
Don't bring it my way.
They need to do more of that stuff. I think, that's how it should be done. That's at a professional level. Getting the rep there, getting the cards there to sign, saying, look, we need to book you for this amount of time, whatever, and getting it done, man. Getting it done. So it's definitely
gets better. It's massive. It's massive. Next one up. This is what you also like to see. Bang. SGC. More value for the hobby. Look, that's a great tagline. I like that, Source. No upcharges on cards post 2000. No additional charge to grade pack pooled autos. 5 to 10 business day turnaround. Order size 1 to 9 cards. 24 US. 10 to 19. $22. 20 to 49 cards, $20, and 50 plus card subs are now 18 USD per card.
Good stuff.
Give us your thoughts. You happy?
Yeah, I mean, it was going to happen.
Motto tonight. Saucy's happy.
Yeah,
in the hobby tonight.
It's what we need to see. Look, the prices got out of hand, and that's why I stopped grading for a while. I was like, fuck paying those prices. So it's good to see that all companies are bringing it down. I think that obviously is a ripple effect from PSA because they all need to be competitive with, with them. If they're going to bring their prices down, it just doesn't make sense for the other companies to not adjust their prices. And we've seen that across the board. And I've seen some other, other grading companies adjusting their prices. And it's the way it should be. I like the fact that, SGC don't, have the upcharges, until you get over 2K, which is good. It's better than what sort of PSA has, even though I think the whole upcharge thing is pretty crazy. But it's good for the consumer and good that people can now get their cards graded for an affordable price and encapsulate them, protect them, preserve them, and keep them nice and crisp for their PC.
CSG source turnaround times have dropped dramatically. Bulk 20 days, economy 10 days, standard 7 days, and the express on 3 days.
I like it. I might have to give them a shot. I don't know if there's a bulk subber from down here. I wouldn't mind testing out a few cards. We've used them for the CGC, the Pokemon cards. They came out pretty good. I like their holders. Nice. I like the fact they give the subgrades. I like the fact they give the subgrades. So it's always a bonus. I don't know. I don't think they do that. I don't think they do that on the other ones now, the sports ones. I think they only do that on the
Yeah, someone actually had a comment in there and said, when are you going to bring back subgrades? They posted on turnaround time one.
Yeah, I think they only do subgrades on TCG now.
Yeah.
And they do not do subgrades on sports. So I think they went down more that PSA. I do like the fact that they reconfigured their holder and it is that black, not that ugly green. So
they did a great job with the rebranding. A lot better than another company that rebranded and said that they didn't rebrand, but yet I seen the pop vinyl grading source has the new logo on it. So that just tells me that there's so much backlash at the national. That's why they retracted on their statement and said, "Oh no, it's not actually our new logo. It's just what did they say it was? It was
I don't know. I think they claimed that they were like testing or something like that.
Yeah, sorry, like a prototype, whatever it was. They were just like market testing that logo to see how it fared. Lies. That's what you were going with, mate, because you've changed your logo, as Source mentioned at the time, to that new logo. So, so if you head on over there, you'll see everything on their page. Anyway, next one up. We haven't got too much on tonight. So, next one up is this bad boy here. Complete 200 card optic set, premium card stock. Source, this released last week. So it says if you enjoyed 21-22 optic basketball, you're going to love the premium box set. The beautiful set was printed to a limited run of 249. It includes 200 base cards, all numbered to 249, in addition to the 200 card base set. Each premium box set includes one rated rookie order to 10. And catch more details below. Number 10, highly popular Domino's optic returns and delivers 200K card base set, consists of 150 base and 50 rated rookies. And as they said, number to 10. Here's what the cards look like. I reckon the cards look pretty good.
Yeah, this is like another variation that they do on the optic.
Yeah. Jalen Green.
The premium box set.
Kuminga,
I think they still look good. I think there's still good value in this product. Might not be as...
It's all numbered base. You buy it, you're guaranteed to get all the rookies, all numbered.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. And then you try chances at a number to 10 rookie.
So even the base is numbered to 249, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So everything is numbered in there. Pretty good. It's a bit like the PSG box Source. So everything's numbered. Next one. Topps Project 22 is out. New releases. We've got Pedri by Dolly, Gianfranco Zola by Whip, Dominic Szoboszlai by Aches Dub, Jack Grealish by Neil Stevens, and Marco Royce by Stanley Chow. So they're the 5 new cards to the Topps Project 22.
Yep. Gianfranco Zola. That's a nice design. I like it.
That is the nice.
Pedri's not bad too. But you see a bit of a theme with these guys, like like they sort of have that sort of style, and then they'll pull that style across their whole thing to keep it sort of sync across their whole set of their Project 2022. So
that's it. Well, in all honesty, Source, that is it from me. In the hobby talk, I do want to plug. Obviously, we've got a podcast with Cards Oz next Monday, so that is going to be an NBA preview. So please jump over there. Jump on, because if you jump on and you comment and you're involved, you get an entry into this giveaway, which I'm going to bring up right here. So this giveaway includes Prism Blaster, 21-22 Prism Blaster, a $50 voucher to Cards Oz Breaks, and a $30 voucher to Cards Oz Breaks. So check it out there. All right. So entries to tune into the Double Coverage podcast, which is next week. That's for 1 entry. 2 entries join Cards Oz Breaks on Facebook. 3 entries is to tag 3 friends in the comments section of this post. So there's a few people that have done it, just a couple. Cards Oz also posted the same tile, so you can go over there as well if you really want to, and then join one of the breaks at an evening with Esso. So Esso from Bliss and Esso will be joining their stream on the Tuesday. So if you join one of those breaks, you get 4 entries into that. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be a great discussion on Monday around the NBA as we preview the 22-23 season. Source. Very excited for it. We'll get some big predictions, bold predictions. Obviously, who we think is going to be the NBA champs, which is going going to be very interesting, and it's shaping up to be a ripping season as well in the NBA. All right, anything from you? Otherwise, we're keeping it to a short one, and we haven't done a short one in a very long time,
Yeah,
Jesse. So,
I'll do a bit of a. I went to a card show on the weekend.
oh yes,
So out in where was it?
Waverley.
Waverley, Mount Waverley. There was the Cardalific. Give us it, Domo. What is it called?
Nah, keep going.
Nah, I'm not saying it again.
It's the cardophilic.
Cardophilic. There we go. I don't know who would call it that, but cardophilic.
I think
Ladies
it's
and
cardophilic.
gentlemen,
Fucking
I'm just gonna put it on the record. It's one of those old school communities that's been running for a while. I don't know how he has a few shows every year. It's a very, very, very small show. It's predominantly there was a little bit of NBA, but not like one table with a guy with some NBA cards. Other than that, it was all AFL and also other cards. Also like people collecting old postcards from back in the day, and different sorts of cards as well. Not just that, and also I think there was one person there with coins as well. So coins collecting, and they had coins there on display, so you could have a look at those as well. But myself saw the one guy Shane, who's runs the Melbourne Car Fair, and he always has some loaded boxes there with good AFL stuff. So I'll bring myself up big, Dom, and do a bit of a show and tell, show people what I picked up.
Here we go.
So I picked up this Paul Chapman auto from when he was at the Dons. Paul Chapman, so ex Geelong player. So all of this is AFL, ladies and gentlemen. I got a Eddie Betts auto. So all these autos, as you'll see, they're obviously not official select ones, but these are he gets these signed in person. He also does private signings with guys and gets a whole bunch of cards signed. Here's one of my favorite pickups from the day. This is the mark of the century, Alex Jezelenko, You Beauty. That's the mark, and it's got Jezelenko's autograph. Who he was one of the great players back in the 1970s, 1980s, around there somewhere, or earlier days than that. He's just renowned for the mark. Kevin Sheedy, ex Essendon great. Now there's his autograph on the side there. So there we go. Picked up that. I've got a few autographs of his. Then here we go. Here's one for you, Doma. I picked up this one. This is Wayne the Duck Carey. Auto. There he is, in pursuit of the ball. The duck.
Lucky it's the ball is in pursuit of, not
something else. Then I went past one other guy's stall. And he had a Buddy Franklin from this year's Select Prestige sitting in his thing. Picked it up for $10. Was happy with that. Always got to buy the Buddy Franklin if I see it. Then Gavin Wanganine, Essendon great. Brownlow medalist for Essendon. Obviously went on to win a premiership at Essendon, and then also at Port Adelaide. So definitely a good player. Lee Matthews, I've met him before in person. Obviously a legend of the game, ex-Brisbane Lions coach, back-to-back premiership coach. Not many have done that, so definitely a legend of the game. Dustin Fletcher, every time I see a Dustin Fletcher card, it's autoed. I buy it. One of my favourite players ever played Essendon. Obviously a legend of the club. This is the one I got for you, Doma. There it is. That's Doma's one. Picked up Wayne Carey. That's the old, I don't even know what set this is from. 93 set. Here we go. That's early days Duck Carey. There it is. And I picked this one up for you, Doma. There we go. Alistair the Man Clarkson. There he is. The man who hopefully should be coaching North Melbourne next season, if all things turn out.
I hope so.
Maybe if he ends up getting through this, you can go get that signed, Doma, and get it autoed.
Yeah, well.
And then here's a few that I picked up that are official auto. So this is a select certified 2017 Charlie Cameron autograph. Picked that up. Was happy with that pickup. And then I got a same set select 2017 Matt Taberner. So maybe I could sell that on to a Docker supporter autograph select. And then a Select Optimum 2021 Luke Pedler for the Adelaide Crows. That's obviously, I've picked that up on Butter's recommendation. I have no idea about Luke Pedler. I just got it for a very good price and probably end up back up on eBay and hopefully sell it for a bit more. But all in all, look, it wasn't, for me, it wasn't disappointing because I like AFL and I would like to learn a little bit more about the vintage side of AFL because there was so much vintage there, Doma. And if you do know what you're looking for in terms of vintage AFL and, the old AFL cards that come out of the cigarettes and the gum from back in the day and all that stuff, there's obviously, cool things to look through. I don't really know. So, in that sense, I wasn't able to sort of delve into a lot of the vintage stuff was there, vintage AFL. But, any sort of new AFL, and obviously I like those sort of in-person autographs that Shane gets and puts them out for sale. So I'm always happy to pick up and add a few more of those to the collection. So all in all, it wasn't that bad. But would I venture out of my way to go to that show again? Probably not. I'll probably just say, if you want to go to a show, definitely go to the Melbourne Card Fair. It's better than that one, and there's a bit more variety. And it's definitely getting better and better. So, outside of the hobby hangout, there's Melbourne Card Fair. I think there's another one on the 13th of November. So, if you want to know what's going on there, definitely type in Melbourne Card Fair on Facebook, and you'll see that. And they post updates on there. So, yeah. Other than that, Dominic, it was all right. It was good.
I like it. It's good. I'm glad that there's still little shows around though as well, so that's the positive thing. So yeah. The more there is, the better. It's good that Shane was there as well. You could have a bit of a chat to him. Obviously he does a great job with his shows, alongside the one that you went to on the weekend, and then we've got the hobby hangout as well. So there's a few card shows around, so it's not like they're non-existent. They're there. So it's great that they're up and running, and there's a bit of a presence here in Australia for the hobby still, which is fantastic. On that note, Source, and that great array of cards that you purchased, Jezza, Chapman, Duck, and of course, Alistair Clarkson. We can't forget about Alistair Clarkson. On that note, thank you everyone for tuning in. Keep living, loving, and breathing sports. It's Dom with the great man Source. It's double coverage.
Peace. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports. Double curve.